Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, at long last, a new deputy federal CIO. And top Trump officials are steering a cybersecurity scholarship program towards AI. It's Monday, May 11th, 2026. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. And now let's dive into the day's top headlines. Federal CIO Greg Barbaccia has tapped the Department of Education's Chief Information Officer as the government's new number 2 IT official. Thomas Flagg will take over as Deputy Federal CIO after spending more than 11 years at the Department of Labor and leading Education's IT shop since October 2024. In an email sent last Thursday to agency CIOs and shared with FedScoop, Barbaccia said there was an overwhelming amount of interest in the deputy role from an exceptionally strong field of candidates. Flagg stood out due to the depth and seriousness of his experience across multiple technology leadership roles, Barbaccia wrote, pointing to his time at the Department of Education and DOL. The hiring of Flagg gives the White House its first permanent deputy CIO since September 2025, when Drew Michaelgard left the public sector to become Carasoft's executive director of government programs. Since then, the acting deputy federal CIO position has been held by Jay Teitelbaum, an Office of Management and Budget, U.S. Digital Service, and Department of Homeland Security alum. Before joining the Labor Department in 2013 as a supervisory IT specialist, Flagg spent more than a decade in a variety of private sector project management, engineering, and IT roles, including several stints as a DOL contractor. Now in other news, the Trump administration is redirecting a cybersecurity scholarship program that requires recipients to work in government service towards artificial intelligence, leaving some current program scholars dismayed and bewildered. In an email to participating school program coordinators obtained by Cyberscoop, the Office of Personnel Management and National Science Foundation said the CyberCore Scholarship for Service program would now be known as the Cyber AI SFS. The email reads, quote, "The SFS students we enroll today will not be employable when they graduate in 2 to 3 years without significant AI background. Any SFS student in this new program must be proficient in using AI in cybersecurity or providing security and resilience for AI systems. Therefore, new students in the Legacy CyberCore program must learn to acquire AI expertise to augment their cybersecurity expertise," unquote. The email also explains that new SFS scholars will not be accepted into the Legacy CyberCore C program without a description on how they will develop competencies at the intersection of cyber and AI. One current program scholar graduating soon said they were disappointed by the change for several reasons. As of earlier last week, the agencies collectively running the program, OPM, NSF, and the Department of Homeland Security, hadn't notified any program participants that any changes were on the horizon. The email leaves scholars uncertain about what will happen as they try to fulfill their side of the agreement, especially since doing so has already been difficult amid cyber job cutbacks and other concerns about how the program has recently been administered. There are around 300 people in this current group. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, as always, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.